Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Starting everything off, we're going to get this door off real quick. That'll give us real good, easy access in here to get what we're going to be repairing on this truck and everything else. Next up, we're going to move this little seal. It's kind of in the way, obviously, of getting our inner rocker and outer rocker off, though, and it's pretty roached anyways, and we got new ones, so off with their heads. And then, next on the line of attack, we're going to be getting these seat bolts out. And this back one, it was pretty crunchery. It kind of rounded off on me, so I got the vice grips out and made quick work of that. All right, seat time. Yep. Oh, Lord. Oh, easy. You can see this truck's pretty untouched because, I mean, it does still have your factory toolkit and everything like Luke was just saying. Yep, we're getting this thing pretty cleaned up and everything. Got this seat out. We might have to end up removing that gas tank. I don't know yet because the rot does go pretty far up on that side, on this side. If that makes any sense.
Could you get the door, please?
What are you gonna do if I get the door?
Something the viewers don't need to know about.
Alrighty, now that we've got our gas tank out and everything all disassembled in here, I'm gonna start just kind of coming in here and getting some of this nasty out, starting probably with our outer rocker here. I'm gonna go ahead and opt to replace that. We've got a drip rail down here at the bottom of our pillar we're gonna be putting in also. And all of this stuff up in here is gonna be getting replaced. Let's get after it. Alrighty, now that we've got most of this cut out, the nasty stuff and everything like that, we can start going back in with some of our new stuff. I've got our drip rail sitting here. I just kind of started mocking up on that. And then I've got a kick panel here, which is going to go right inside of here. As you can see, a lot of this rot travels way up in here. So we're gonna have to do something about that as well. So my first line of attack is gonna be getting that kick panel I just showed you. We're gonna start fitting that thing up. That's gonna be the first thing we get in. Then we're gonna go to the outer drip rail here and start fitting that up, get those two matched up really nice. Then we're gonna go back in with our inner rocker. Let's start cutting, grinding, and all that good stuff and get this stuff in here. Alrighty, I got the kick panel fit up in here. Everything's looking pretty good on it. But now I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and opt to put our inner rocker in. I usually don't use the whole piece, but just the way everything's fitting up, I'm just gonna go ahead and opt to just cut this line all the way down through here, because if not, we're gonna have to come up and do a funky angle, kind of like we did on the other side there. But I'm just gonna make it a nice straight cut all the way back. And Luke did pay a premium for this panel, so I think he's kind of wanting to use the whole thing. So we'll get in here. I'm just gonna cut on the edge of this. That way whenever we do that, it's gonna sink down, and we should be able to just lay a nice butt weld all the way down through here. Alrighty, I went ahead and tacked this up a little bit off camera here, but you can see we've got this all the way tacked in now, so our inner rocker is all the way in. I started fitting up everything as far as our rocker. Everything's fitting up pretty nice on here, except for our drip rail, which I ended up cutting this portion off here because it wasn't really fitting up the way I wanted it to. So you can see right here that cut line is where our drip rail is. It's a little low, but my game plan is going to be to come in here and basically take a plug out of this and just essentially make a little filler panel in here, which I could have just kept that on there. I kind of messed up by cutting that off, but live and learn. So I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to cut probably basically this thing in half, and then we'll get this rocker back off and then get this welded to that, and then our drip rail will be installed. Alright, so update number 347. We've got our panel all the way in here. I ended up just going ahead and leaving the whole thing. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. If it does end up getting in the way of our door plate here, we can always come down to where that spot weld is, grind it down a little bit, and it'll be good. So now we need to hang our outer rocker. Alright, so I went ahead off camera and drilled all the spot welds we're going to be needing for this, which seems to be the common theme. I'm kind of sorry rushing through this. There's a lot more in-depth detail on the other side, and I did a video a week ago. I'll link that down in the description so you guys can check that out if that's something you're interested in. But we've got our rocker up here now. Just like I did on the other side, I'm probably just going to hit a couple of these plug welds in here, just so we'll rehang this door on here, and then that way we can adjust up and down if it needs to be. We did have to adjust on that other one just a little bit, and that's just a good thing to do. Don't try to nail them all in, because you want to fit your door up, and you might need to bring this thing down. It's easier to do that than try to build up the bottom of your door or something like that. So I'm pretty happy with the way this whole thing's fitting, so let's get it burnt in. So this panel is pulled out just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and throw some self-tappers in here just to suck everything up. Then whenever we get done, we'll just fill those welds in. We'll have to pull these out, of course. Now we get to move on into the fun stuff. I think we're just going to have to make all this ourselves. Okay, so our first patch we're going to be making is going to be pretty much this shape. I just laid this down on the piece that I cut out and rubbed my finger around it. Now I'm just going to come in, cut this thing out with a scissor, and we're going to transfer that onto a piece of metal. Alrighty, so we've got this panel here all tacked in. We're gonna have to come back in here obviously and make us a place for our body mount. That is looking pretty good, I'm happy with it. So now what we're gonna do is continue on up in here, make us another template, and we're gonna have to go way up in here and make all of this. But it's about midnight and I'm about had enough, so me and Luke are gonna come out here tomorrow. It's gonna be Sunday, so we're gonna have a full day out here. Hopefully we can knock the rest of this out and maybe even move over to the cab corner, but we'll see you guys in the morning.
We'll have to buy another can.
Alrighty, so day, I guess 3 on the rest repair. Luke's out here. We're gonna get this thing hopefully dialed in and the rest of the way completed. Basically what we're doing is just gonna be continuing on with our homemade patch panels like I was talking about last night. Yeah, he was doing some weird stuff, but we're gonna just continue on with that. Just going on up into the firewall, so hopefully you guys will stick around, see what we got going on.
Stop it.
Alright, so just like our other panel we made here, we're going to be using this poster board, and just wanted to show you real quick how I usually get around doing such a thing. I've got this thing pretty much where it's going to be, and what I'll do is I'll just start coming in here with my finger, kind of rolling down through here, and that'll give us our basic design. As you can see, that's already kind of cut, so it'll be pretty close to the way it is. And we'll just kind of go down through here. That'll get us pretty close. We'll start roughing that thing in, come back in here, test fit it a couple times. Then we'll transfer that over to a piece of sheet metal. Alrighty, so we've got our patch panel in here, all tacked in. Now what we're gonna have to do, I'm gonna come in here where this gap is, that's where it was really rusty in here. So I'm just gonna come up kind of straight from here and along here, up here where our other patch is. It's kind of chewy up through here still, so it might end up coming up just a little bit farther, but we're gonna get this piece established now. Gonna throw this in here. Just gonna go a little farther than we need to and just kind of fold this thing over. And then come back with our pencil. That'll give us a pretty good idea where we need to cut this thing. Kind of cut our angle out real quick. As you can see, that fits in there really nice with our contour we got going on. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of come in here with this pencil and draw roughly where I want to make this patch. I'm going to cut on the far side of this line just so we can kind of start working our way in. Pretty close to where we're going to be wanting to go. So what I'm going to do now, transfer this just like the other side to another piece of metal, and then we'll get this thing in. What you doing?
Trying to start it.
I think it might be a little noisier without the exhaust.
You think?
So we got this thing all the way done now. Well, we got it all tacked in and everything. As you can see here, we backed it out just to kind of get a little bit of cleaning going on, but Luke's gonna try to fire this thing up real quick and get it back in the garage because we've got some rain coming in. Alrighty, so we've pretty much got all the rust done that we're gonna probably be able to get done in this video. So let me walk you guys through what we've got done here. So as you can see in here, our patch panel, which I didn't get a very good video of the other day, I understand, but it's in here, and that just goes right along our other little patch. Up in here, it was a little bit rustier than I was hoping, so we might end up just coming up a little bit farther just to get in some better metal up here. But down through here, everything is looking really nice on this thing. Everything seems to line up very good. We haven't fit the door yet, so like I was saying earlier in the video, we might have to raise or lower that rocker. Everything's looking pretty daggone good, and I'm super excited. We got cab corner to go on the passenger side. Driver's side really kind of needs one, but we're gonna hold off on doing that just so we can get this truck done, because we're both pretty much tired of messing with this rust repair. So that's probably something we're gonna kick down the road, maybe till next year or something, so we can get this thing on the road. Big plans in the future for this thing. Before it hits the road, we've got a full drop kit we're gonna be doing, got a utility bed. So if you're not already, go ahead, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button so you can follow along with this build. And also our 66 GMC. That is enough rambling. I do appreciate the heck out of you guys and commenting, liking, and all that stuff. That means the world to me. It makes all this work here worth it. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.